Hi, good morning. It is Monday, May 3rd. I got my second dose vaccine on Saturday. I got the Moderna shot and I was fine all Saturday, and then I woke up at 6 a.m. on Sunday with the worst headache of my life. Like, I'm talking skull-piercing pain. It steadily progressed to worse and worse and worse and worse symptoms. So I was completely incapacitated all of Sunday yesterday. I was in so much pain I couldn't fall asleep. My good friend Christina, who some of you actually know from her YouTube channel, I'll link her down below, she sent me money on Venmo so that I could get myself some Uber Eats, and that was the sweetest thing. I got myself like hot udon soup and it helped so much. So Christina, if you're watching this, thank you so much. I love you. That was really, really, really sweet. Thank you. I slept after that meal for like 8 hours. I woke up at 10 p.m. and it felt like I was waking from the dead. Like, zombie woke up, didn't know what my name was, what year it was, but I realized that like I felt so much better. I'm in such a good mood that I decided to vlog, and over the weekend I actually put up a Q&A on my Instagram stories, and somebody wrote in asking what life advice I would give to somebody in their 20s trying to figure everything out. And that gave me an idea to film a YouTube video on life advice for people in their 20s. Because, I mean, I'm not gonna come on here and say that I know it all because I lived through my 20s and survived. Everyone's different, but I just remember being in my 20s and having a lot of pressure. I just remember that feeling of needing to have everything figured out when you know nothing. You're still trying to understand yourself and what you want to do and what you want to accomplish. I'm still figuring it out, and I'm 31. So I thought that we could do a vlog style / life advice video today. I'm gonna put up 2 Instagram stories. One is going to be for people who have lived past their 20s. What advice would they give to their 20-year-old self? And then the second Instagram story I'm going to have for people in their 20s wanting advice or to ask questions that I can answer later today. So let's... This was still filming. Wow. Christina's already responded to a few. Okay, so first story, I will insert a little screen grab here. Okay, so that question is going to be answered throughout the day. And then the second question, I will also insert that here. Later on today, after 5 p.m., I think that I can crack open a bottle of wine and have a little Q&A session with the 20-something-year-old questions that I get and address those. I think this will be a fun little interactive video. Let's do it. The first piece of advice that I've gotten from Christina Choi, I'll also insert people's handles and stuff on the screen. Don't compare yourself to others. This is a big one. If you're in your 20s, it's so easy to get caught up in social media. Believe me, I know. I live and breathe social media. I am constantly comparing myself to influencers and also my peers. And most of my friends that I grew up with from high school all are well into their careers, have families, have husbands. For a while, I was trying to hold myself to that standard, and I think that I was very scared to start over when I really should have left a relationship in my 20s long before I ultimately did. One of my very favorite influencers, it's Me Tinks. I'll insert her Instagram profile somewhere on the screen. What her biggest saying is, comparison is the thief of joy. And it's true. Everyone is in a different season of their lives. The second piece of advice that Christina shared is enjoy not having hangovers, because it will not last. True words have never been spoken. I'm going to finish my coffee. I also, you probably could tell, But yesterday I was in no state to be cleaning up after myself, and it shows. Sweetie, it shows. So that's what I will be doing. Come on. I mean, I know I was ill, but still. Is that cinnamon? That's cinnamon. What was I doing with cinnamon? Anyway, I'm gonna clean this up and get ready for my morning meetings. Hello friends, I am checking in. It's around 11 a.m. Oof, the lighting's weird. So I'm checking in because I've gotten a few more responses from Steven Rojas. Hug your mother. That's a good one. From Jolyn Matthews. Everything always works out in the end. And I actually really love that one because it's true. Things work out the way that they're supposed to, whether you fight it or stress about it or worry about it or lose sleep over it. Things are just gonna work out. So there's no point in adding stress to your life by worrying about it. The Whizzle says, start working out now, bitch. Don't wait till your 30s. And girl, I agree. Your body is capable at any age. And yeah, you could get fit in your 30s, but wouldn't it just be easier to start working out and build those better habits earlier in life? I mean, I've always been pretty active, but at the same time, I know I could have pushed myself harder in my 20s. But hey, to each their own. From Kim Duism, save your money. Yes. From Julia, don't compare where you are in life to where other people are. Figure out what's best for you. And I cannot agree more. This goes in tandem with Christina's advice. Don't compare yourself to others. Comparison is the thief of joy. Everyone is in a different season of their lives. So it's like comparing apples to oranges. Honestly, they're not the same. They are not the same. You can't compare a whale to a flamingo. I've had too much caffeine. I'm on my second cup of coffee, guys. I don't know why I just compared a whale to a flamingo. Dear Grishelle says, have fun, build your career, date endlessly, make that big move and be fearless. Yes, Grishelle! I 100% agree. Like, your 20s should not be so serious. You should be having fun. And I'm sure most of you guys who are in your 20s are having lots of fun. But when something doesn't go according to plan or something goes awry, take it with a grain of salt. If you make a mistake, if you fuck up, learn from it. That's number one. Learn from your mistakes, but also live your life unapologetically. I'm still working on that, but still. Sarah Liebs says, invest your money. So I think this goes along with saving. Save your money, invest your money. Benjamin Buttons says, learn how to invest now. Less parties. Don't have kids. I mean, okay, that's your advice, Benjamin Buttons. If you're telling your 20-something-year-old self that. Dre Day says, live life to the fullest. Take the risk and go for those opportunities. Yeah, I will say that in my 20s, I was kind of a risk taker, and I don't regret it at all. Like, I switched careers once. Well, I moved careers from PR to social media, but I switched jobs quite a bit. And I see a few of my friends who have stayed in the same job, in the same career, and they've never had any other life experience. And I'm sure they're very happy and comfortable with their life, but like, how do you grow from that, you know? I mean, and no judgment, to each their own, but if you want to make the most of this one life that you have, fucking shake it up. Blow the lid off that shit. Anyway, I have, it's now 11:15. I have a meeting at 11:30 and I need to finish my dreaded expenses, which for the amount of not traveling I'm doing, I have a lot of expenses every month, which freaking sucks because I hate expenses. I hate expense reports. I mean, they're not that hard. I just hate doing them. Gotta finish this before my meeting and I will check in later. Okay, so just finished my morning meetings and I needed to take a moment for myself because I was starting to get kind of anxious and overwhelmed with my to-do list, and also I guess I'm a little bit strung up on some things that are happening in my life. So anyway, I just needed to take a moment to come back to my breath, and the mantra that I kept saying to myself that like literally popped into my head as soon as I closed my eyes was, this moment is all I have, and all I have is this moment. So that really helped to ground me and center my erratic thoughts right now. I don't know why I'm so anxious. It's probably all the coffee that I've consumed. I think I've had like definitely over the 200 milligrams that is recommended per day. So I think I'm going to go to the gym and burn off some of this energy right after I do 2 more things for work. I finished my expense report, so that's good. My arm's getting kind of tired. But I also wanted to bring this up because this is kind of a life lesson that I learned, not even learned, but just came to realize right before my COVID shot. On Saturday morning, knowing that I was going to get my shot later in the day, I decided that I was going to run my usual long route. Knowing that I probably wouldn't be feeling good on Sunday, I ran thinking, well, I better make the most of this run because I'm probably not going to feel great tomorrow. And coming back to this meditation that I was doing, all we have is this moment, and this moment is all I have. So first of all, I busted out 7 miles on Saturday with an 8-minute and 50-second pace, which for me, I have little legs, is fast. So it got me thinking, if you were to live every single day knowing that you wouldn't have the same things that you had tomorrow, imagine all of the things you could get done. Because I kept telling myself, I'm gonna be so sick tomorrow, which was yesterday, and I was so sick. So I got so much crap done. Like, I ran the 7 miles, I picked up a new rug for my apartment, I did chores around the house. I don't know, I just felt so motivated. Your tomorrow is never promised. Like, luckily for me, I had that moment knowing that tomorrow was not going to be promised, knowing that I was going to feel sick. So it's hard to keep that mentality all the time. It's hard to just commit to being the best version of yourself every single day, but it's a good reminder to realize that tomorrow is not promised. Also, another thing that came up for me in my meditation right now was, you will never be too much for the right person. So if you have any self-doubt about anyone in your life, for me right now, it's the person that I'm sort of dating. There's nothing wrong, but like, there's negative self-talk in my head. I keep repeating like, oh, what if I did this? Or what if I'm too much for him? And the simple answer is, I will not be too much for the right person. So whether it's this guy or I haven't met him yet, I need to stop freaking worrying about being too much of myself. So a little food for thought. Let's see if anyone else has responded. A lot of people talking about investing. My friend Odessa says to hoe out. Girl, I'm not gonna say the words, but yeah. 3 Stacks Heart says, to remember I am enough just as I am. I love that so much. You are. You are enough just as you are. You don't need to change yourself. Samantha Misa says, invest more and buy more assets. Noemi 89 Diaz says, take the time to travel more. You won't regret making memories. Very true. Still words that I live by. I mean, obviously not over the last 15 months, but I just got my 2nd dose. We are traveling, baby. And then Blasted says, start investing your money now. A lot of the folks in their 30s are talking about how you should invest, save, and invest. That's all the advice for now. I'm gonna go get ready for the gym and hopefully burn some of this caffeine off because I am on one right now. I'm like not shaking, I'm a little jittery. I just got back from the gym, got my workout in. It's now 2:40 and I got a few more responses. So let's dig into some more life advice for those in their 20s. This one comes from AV Lorenzo, 14. Lie on your CV, aka your resume. Lie all you can imagine. I have a workmate who has been promoted with a false degree. Now, okay, I have a story about this. I was very much in the same camp. Like, no one actually double checks your references if you're interviewing for a private company. However, I work for a nonprofit that checks the references, okay? So I graduated with a degree in sociocultural anthropology from UCLA. And it doesn't necessarily have much to do with communications, social media, public relations, you know, where my actual career lies. So for my current job, I lied on my resume and said I got a communications degree from UCLA. And fuck me right, they double checked and they could not verify that that was correct. And I got caught in that lie. So know your audience. I will support this piece of advice to a certain extent. Know your audience. Know that government agencies, nonprofits, anything that has to do in an official capacity with the US government will probably double check. So don't lie on that. But if it's like some kind of media agency, no one's gonna check. Anyway, that was a little bit tangential. Let's move on to the next. Carter and Jackson says, have fun, take care of your skin, eye cream, and sunblock. And this, I wish I took better care of my skin in my early 20s because I have some sun damage, hyperpigmentation, freckles from all of the sunburns that I got when I was a young 20-year-old. 100% wear more sunblock. Tuppeny Kate says, it's not that serious. Whatever it is, I promise it's not that serious. Lighten up. Hear, hear. Praise be. I definitely 100% agree. Anything that you think is a catastrophe or that you're making a big deal of in your head in your 20s, it's really not that bad. Take a breath and ask yourself if whatever you're worrying about is going to matter in 5 years. Lindsay Malley says, care less about what others think of you. Your work, your looks, just live your fucking life. Amen, sister. Yes, Lindsay. This is definitely something that I'm still working on. I'm a people pleaser. I care a lot about what people think of me. And I know that I've come a long way in terms of being self-assured and confident in who I am as a person, but at the same time, I very much aim to please. I'm gonna do some more chores, put the dishes from the dishwasher away. I have a friend coming over. Her name is also Sam. I'll see you guys in the next check-in. Good morning, folks. It is the next day because I unexpectedly, I can't even say this, like as an adult with a straight face, I unexpectedly got really drunk yesterday. I had a friend come over and we were having a bottle of wine and then we decided to make cocktails and I got too drunk to finish filming this video. So anyway, happy Tuesday. Let's see, where did I leave off with the life advice? I believe the last piece of advice that I shared was from Lindsay Mal. Yes. MCB says, time pauses for no one. In fact, it only seems to relatively speed up. This is true. Just remember that your time is precious and you shouldn't be wasting it. Also, I'm having oatmeal because I'm a little hungover and I cannot intermittent fast till 11 today. I think I barely ate yesterday. I had a smoothie, like a protein shake after my workout, and then immediately started drinking. Yeah, that was probably under like 600 calories for the entire day, plus all the alcohol. So I need food. Anyway, time pauses for no one. In fact, it only seems to relatively speed up. If you know a situation is not right, do not waste your time staying in it. I actually have a very good example of this. When I was living in LA and working at the ad agency that I was working at, I had a lot in common with one of my coworkers. She and I had been dating our boyfriends at the time for the same amount of time. We were actually going through some of the same relationship problems, so we were sharing a lot. I decided to break up with my then boyfriend. She decided to stay and work out problems with hers. They actually got engaged. I moved across the country, and we actually recently caught up, and she called off her engagement, and she is starting at the same place that I was 2 years ago because she just moved to the East Coast. Just imagine, like, I made that decision and saved 2 years. Like, my ex and I were supposed to get engaged, dude. There's a little tidbit for y'all. DZ Dame SD says, never let anyone make you second guess the dreams you have for yourself. It's true. I mean, I wanted to be an anthropology major because I wanted to be like Indiana Jones and go on excavations. And while I did not do that and anthropology is not serving me, I carved my own way. Paulina Marie says, there's no rush. Don't pressure yourself with timelines. They're not real. Like, why? Why do you have timelines? Because somebody else said so. Like, why do you have to listen to somebody else? No. V. Ronzica says, stop caring about everyone else's opinions. Milagna Sandwich says, use fucking night cream. Yes. Steph R. Carr says, this is true stuff. Things are just as whack at 31. It's funny because it's true. G. Casabar says, nothing good happens after 2 a.m. Yup. Lauren A. Solo says, live within your means. It can suck, but crawling out of debt is worse. Justin Verdusco says, if you get a scholarship, take it. Yeah, why wouldn't you? That wraps up the life advice portion of this video. And since I am in no condition to be drinking again after the bender I went on yesterday, I will begin answering the questions that the 20-year-olds had. So Halarobala asks, ways to live in the moment and genuinely enjoy life while adulting, work, bills, etc. The first thing that came to my mind is 1, surrounding yourself with good people. The best way to live a really fulfilling life is to surround yourself with people who really genuinely make you happy and, like, 1, push you to be a better person, but 2, people that you can completely be yourself around. That is 100% how I live in the moment and genuinely enjoy life. In order to enjoy your life, you can't be worrying about other things. So make sure that you can pay your bills. And if you can't pay your bills, figure out what you need to cut out of your life so that you're not scraping by every month when it's time to pay rent. Live within your means. Make sure you can pay your bills. And if you can't, figure out ways to make more money or cut more bills out. Melissa Justine wants to know about financial planning. That's a great question. I will be completely honest and transparent. I am not a money person. That's not my strong suit. But I did go to the financial gym for help. I had a financial planner for like a couple of months. She put me on a budget. Then she ended up getting let go of the financial gym, and I just didn't want to go through my finances with somebody new. So that's kind of where I dropped the ball. But I'll tell you what I do. I know how much I pay in all of my utilities, my rent, my credit card bills, blah, 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 blah. And I make sure with both of I get paid every other week at work. So I make sure that between my 2 paychecks, all my bills are covered. And then I save. My company has a 401k match So I make sure I max out the match. I put like, I think it's 10%. I don't even know. I have to double check. 10% away. I work for a nonprofit. It's called a 403B, but it's basically a 401k. So I put that away. I invest $100 in my Roth IRA. From my old jobs, I've rolled over my old 401ks into a Roth IRA. So I continue to invest in that. And then I have a $75 recurring deduction into a high yield savings account with Goldman Sachs, otherwise known as Marcus. So between those savings, those paying my bills, and whatever's left over, that's what I have for groceries, that's what I have for shopping, that's what I have for like living life. I am not gonna say that that's the best way to do it because it works for me, but it might not work for you. Cindy ZZQ wants to know how to better deal with uncertainty, especially during some transition periods. Girl, I am an anxious person when it comes to uncertainty. I am a Virgo and I very much like to plan things and I like to have organization. I'm a control freak. So uncertainty makes me antsy. It makes me anxious. And this is something that I'm still working on, but whenever you feel, I'll say what I do. Whenever I feel overwhelmed, just honestly take a deep breath, breathe out, and ask yourself, what is it that I can do in this moment to make the situation better? If the answer is like not something that you can directly affect because you have no control over the situation, you're waiting for somebody else to give you a response, do something that will feed a better positive reaction in your brain. So go for a walk. Meditate. Sometimes I'll try and distract myself with social media, but I don't think that's a good habit. So lately, what I've been doing, anytime I feel stressed out or uncertain, I take a few deep breaths. I look at what I can do around my apartment, like clean up. Can I vacuum something? Are there dishes in the sink? If my apartment's spotless and I have nothing I can do, I'll go outside and walk around my block. I don't know if that's super helpful, but that's what I do. Sorry that I know transition periods and uncertainty can really suck. Ex-teen Eager wants to know, am I really still in my 20s if I'm 28 and married and starting a family? Yes, of course you are. You're literally in your 20s. I think that age is really a mentality. If you don't want your 20s taken away from you, then don't. Be proud of what you have. You're starting a family, you're married, good for you. Those are great accomplishments. The answer is yes, you are in your 20s, okay? Steph Jung 21 wants to know, when do you know to take a leap of faith into something completely new? Any regrets, mistakes? When and how did you decide to start living for yourself and not for your traditional parents? This is a great freaking question. Okay, so I'll answer in two parts, Steph. I'll answer the second question first. When did I start living for myself and not my traditional parents? I started in freaking high school when my goal in life was to go to a college that was far enough away where I could move out of the house. That's what I did. I was still very close with my parents, so I think that to a certain extent, like I was still living for them all throughout my 20s. And when I decided to move to New York is when I really decided to start living for me. The other question, when do you know to take a leap of faith? When it fucking scares you. That's when you take the leap of faith. When you almost feel sick to your stomach because you're not sure whether or not it's a good idea, that's when you should probably do it. You could have some regrets and you could definitely make some mistakes, but how else are you gonna learn? Like if somebody spoon feeds you everything and tells you it's the right decision and like, you just have to fucking do it. Let's say it's the worst mistake of your life. It's not that bad. Unless you kill someone, unless you plan on killing someone, it's not that bad. Make the move. Dump the guy. Get with the guy. Do something that scares you. You can be afraid of the outcome, but you'll be fine. Wow, I'm really hungry. That was delicious. So those were all the questions, and that was all of the advice. Sorry this video didn't go according to plan. I was gonna do a wine chat, essentially, but I did do the wine, I just didn't do the chat part. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Actually, I'm gonna film an updated apartment tour because there are a few new things that I did to my apartment since my official 5-Eye apartment tour. So I'll film that next week. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Look out for the next video. And if you're not already, please subscribe to my channel, comment down below. If you have advice for your 20-year-old self, what would it be? Let me know. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.